Yeah, it's CryptoBlood, Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what the show indicators are wrong point. OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, and just blood too. Bad motherfucker in the good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why CryptoBlood, just Satoshi's on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Yo, it's NYBZ on the mic, coming through the mist, talking crypto and privacy things you can't dismiss. YouTube's wild jungle, I'm the lion, can't resist. Guiding through the blockchain, teaching about the risk. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, miny biz, we on a privacy blitz. Stepping in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wild and keep it tight, no weights. Click clack, I hack the facts, that's how I attack. From Bitcoin to Monero, stacking privacy back. YouTube's got eyes, but I'm the cloak in disguise. NYB on the rise, educating the wise. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, meeny, miny biz, we on a privacy blitz. Stepping in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wild and keep it tight, no weights.
RiceTVx, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, Rice defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he sports only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal.
Oh yeah, family, we are live. Thank you for tuning in for this collaborative live stream for the Three Wise Man Wednesday. That's the 3WW action. I am joined by my brothers from other mothers. That would include CryptoBlood and Seth from Mind Your Biz. Make sure you take an opportunity to smash that like button. We are live streaming on all three of our YouTube channels, our X accounts, and I am also streaming on our Rumble. We have links down below for each other's socials in each other's video description. If that's not confusing enough, make sure you support us all. Smash the like button and repost if you're watching over on the X side. Without further ado, what's up, fellas?
Hey,
look at all the excitement.
right.
This is going to be a great stream, everybody.
Right.
It's like the Bitcoin obituaries. Here's the thing. Like we if you've been in Bitcoin for any duration of time, then you keep getting the question asked, who is Satoshi? You keep getting the answer given to you. Nobody cares. And people keep doing this. So here we are. Like, that's where the enthusiasm comes from, Rice, is that it's like, okay, more of the same. We're going on 15 years now of people just swinging wild, trying to make guesses and not caring that they keep coming up empty-handed over. Dude, we're going on 2 decades. When will they give up?
Never. Not until the identity is known. People always speculate because of
okay. I have a question for both of you. If and when, because I think the NSA, they can find out, or no, they know easily. They can find out. When it's actually revealed, do you think it's going to knock a little bit of the luster off of Bitcoin's image? Just a tad bit.
If it gets revealed.
They featured Adam back pretty heavily in that documentary. Let me also, if I may, I'm going to do a quick disclaimer on my part. I feel like the producing team, the production and directing team did fine, right? I think they did their jobs on this piece of media. They made something probably worth watching if you're really into this and whatever.
There's some good history.
Bit.
It's a little
exactly.
It's a slightly biased to me to the small blockstream side
for sure
in a sense.
But
it does give all perspectives.
And it cues up the book that Roger Ver wrote recently really nicely. So you have these two pieces that are a great counterpoint to each other. And at least in this one, you've introduced all the main characters that you're going to read about in Roger's book without necessarily having to, go through all the history that we mentioned before, 15 years, right, of Bitcoin talk forum posts, the Satoshi emails, which are well documented. If you want to go to the Nakamoto Institute, like they even opened the documentary saying it's fewer than 550 emails total. I think you could read them in an afternoon. You could all the emails that Satoshi, everything that Satoshi ever wrote.
Through the technical aspect, it's not like you're reading something exciting or kind of keeping you on edge.
The emails between he and Adam Beck, though?
Yeah, you couldn't read those for a while.
I haven't read them, and it's interesting how they were talking in a documentary. And it's just so people are aware, we're talking about this HBO documentary that came out last night, actually, Money Electric, the Bitcoin Mystery, and they were diving into the origins of Bitcoin and the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. They claimed they were going to reveal whom it was, and they kind of implied, but it seems sensationalized. And also, in case you guys don't know, that the team behind it, they did a documentary about QAnon. So that was one of the big things that they did with HBO. Real quick, I want to let you guys know around 2:30ish, I got somebody that's going to be popping in and joining us as a special guest. I do want to take a moment.
Wait a minute. Seth, are you in on this?
No.
Okay.
The guest
is a surprise.
The guest actually is like, I hope they're cool with it. I'm like, no, they're going to be cool with it. So,
No. We rolled the punches. I will say the custom background, the little wireless mic and stuff. I am traveling right now. I'm getting ready to go to some of the side events of permissionless. I'm not at the main trade show. But just kind of heads up. That's why you see things a little bit different. I'm not in my usual.
And I've got a new setup myself.
Yeah, you look bright.
Camera. Yeah, new camera.
New camera you're using, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, we have to talk about that, and we need to schedule that meeting too.
Yes, we do.
I want to give a big shout out to and some prayers, warnings, sending positivity to our friends and family in Florida. We got Bitcoin Ben out in that area.
Yep.
Sam Price, Lifer.
Yep.
Crypto Crow. Gareth Soloway.
Yep.
Randy Hipper. Gary Cardone. I'm sure there's some people I'm missing, but those are the ones that I know for the most part that are out in that area. So I just want to send some love to everybody. Stan Barabbas is actually in Tampa.
Oh, Stan.
But he's evacuated. He evacuated. He's been through this several times working in an RV park. So I think he just hitches up his RV and takes off out of the area zone.
Okay.
Trying to be
There's
smart
almost so much
about
you
it.
can do. I think so Gary was able to get to the sort of Miami-Dade area. I don't know if he went quite that far south, but he was able to get out. I think Sam is. I think that he's bugging in. I think
he couldn't get out.
Commercial flights. Yeah. So I've been trying to take note of who's where.
And Randy Hipper.
I think 20%
Randy couldn't get out either.
Yeah, they said they couldn't. Yeah. One, gas, and two, the highways are just crazy. So
Gary must have jumped on his PJ.
He jumped on his brother's PJ. Yeah.
Mark,
he wasn't even inside that. He just said like that.
Shout out to you, Gary.
It's good to have scammy brothers who have money.
Oh my!
We don't all feel the same way. Whoever's watching.
I'm just saying. It's just I like Gary, but Gary's brother I can really give or take. So, not a big fan.
Right.
Maybe that's why Gary never. Maybe that's why Gary never reached back out to us, right?
No. It's not Gary who does it anyway. He's got his
I know.
assistant.
I'm playing.
Do I sound choppy or am I okay?
You're fine here inside of
so far, good. I
York,
think maybe when we're all talking, it might. I'm not sure, but right now, sounds good.
So you guys both did watch the documentary.
I only got through half of it.
So you didn't see
I found a way to watch it really fast.
There's a lot of people who have already shared kind of information about who they're speculating. I copied the video last night. You can't do it with OBS. There's a blocker on HBO, I guess, but with StreamYard you can stream it. I recorded it and I uploaded it to another channel. It quickly got blocked, so it couldn't be viewed. I didn't get a strike, but I did upload it on my website. I have the video. I can play the part. I'm doing it kind of in the background while I'm talking to you guys.
HBO, when you're watching, look, I know that you took down Altcoin Daily's duplicate of just a 5-second clip from your documentary,
which you're supposed to be able to have 5 seconds or less.
With our friend Rice.
No, Rice, don't do it.
Be lenient with our friend Rice.
Don't even do it.
Well, I will say that me playing the trailer on my live stream from yesterday, definitely got hit with a no monetization, no strike, but just no monetization because I'm using copyrighted stuff. I'm not sure how the building. I mean, how much should we make from a video anyways? Like $2? If I play the clip, we're not going to make $2. I'll send you guys $2 if it's cool to play.
I don't make anything. Yeah.
I'm more worried about HBO being very, very desperate because I think that some of the big conglomerates, including Disney Co., I think that the happiest place on earth is going to be very, very desperate for their money in the next couple of years. So I think I wouldn't want to turn you into an example, Rice, by encouraging you to host it.
What's up, Kelly Killam? Good seeing you in your house, my friend. So basically, they were coming to the conclusion. I mean, it's all over the fucking internet. I don't want to be like a spoiler here, but I don't feel like what they revealed was actually revealing who Satoshi is, kind of like what Seth was saying in the beginning of this whole thing. I think it's more sensationalized, in my opinion. Something I did think about this last night, and I didn't have a chance to look it up until this afternoon. Mm-hmm. So I was like, who owns majority stock in HBO Max? Has anybody looked that information up by chance?
Well, no, Rice. Do tell.
No.
Okay. I was just curious if anybody took the time to do any kind of research. So what we have here is you can't actually invest in HBO or Max because they are owned by Warner Brothers, and it's under the Warner Brothers Discovery WBD ticker. And if I scroll down, let me go ahead and enlarge this for all of us old fuckers out here. Mm-hmm. And where are we at?
Yeah, we prefer to be called wise, not old.
Yeah, 3 wise men, right?
Okay, for all of us Reader Digest wise men, we can see that the largest shareholders include Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, Harris Associates.
No, Rice, come on, hold on. Round of applause for your journalistic endeavors. I appreciate it.
This is 20, like basically almost 22% of the stock between State Street, BlackRock,
Blackcock owns everything.
So I'm saying, knowing that BlackRock got involved in Bitcoin. Do you think it's not?
When did the BBC get involved in Bitcoin?
Release this to kind of bring more attention to the ETF product. It's just sensational.
They own everything.
But here's my thing. You've been in a couple of documentaries. I've been in a few. With the last one, they didn't even show me in. I flew all over the country to be recorded. But anyway, this stuff takes 2-3 years. You think BlackRock really thought that far out in regards to a small?
No, maybe not that, but maybe they realized
this team was much more agile, though.
Pushed for it.
But Blood, also, you didn't finish the documentary all the way to the end. They did a very good job of tidying up the third act and making it a lot more culturally relevant by getting updated info. So I hear what you're saying as far as like Hollywood production schedules, and they were doing a casting call 2 years ago and not being able to see any of the work that was done, for forever. But they had stuff as recent as Roger getting picked up in Spain. So
did you see the appearance of Ben Armstrong and the fact that they used the fat version of him?
No,
that was the last time that. What?
They used like 2018 Ben Armstrong,
which means they used my business partner's writing. That was my business partner's writing, not Ben. Let's just be very, very clear. Let's give credit where it's due. Ben didn't write.
Is this the kitty cat? Who are we talking about?
The kitty cat. I just want to be very, very clear. And Ben, if he were under oath, would be forced to admit it, that he didn't write any of that shit when his channel was relevant. So
I don't know if this is when the channel was relevant.
All I'm saying is the expose stuff.
It was the Limp Bizkit backwards hat, fat bit boy era.
He kept that for a while, though, man. Into 2020, when Bethany started to encourage him. Look, I know the story very, very well. I know the story intimately well.
What is
we all
going
know
on
more than we should.
All right. Well, I didn't mean to turn this into anything.
I didn't get to that part, so I couldn't. I don't have any hot takes ready for that.
I did see Chico Crypto briefly in the beginning, and they did have Paul Democrat too from Crypto Factor. He was kind of like in this little Eskimo get up talking about buy the dip. I kept hoping they were going to show one of the three of us.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. I've been on a hot streak, but I'm on Netflix, guys. I've signed my life over in blood to Netflix, so you have to find me on Netflix.
That's why you come out as being pro Kamala Harris.
Huh?
That's why you came out as being pro Kamala Harris. Huh?
Never.
The documentary was a trash can. It was trash, I'm assuming he's applying. And I thought it was a good documentary overall. I thought there was some good history. Like I said, I think it kind of leaned towards the blockstream, small blocker side. And the conclusion I thought was interesting, but I'll tell you, like, I sent a message in our group chat that I deleted because I don't want to have anything get given away. But I was getting the feeling 35 minutes into it that they were going to imply that Peter Todd was either Satoshi or involved. And they make a good argument, but I still feel like if there's any truth to it.
Do they bring in do they bring up the Lynn Sassaman guy at all?
No.
Super briefly.
Not even as a side character. Barely.
Wow.
No, I'll tell
the whole internet was going crazy over him being in the dock. And
Polymarket really won on this one. Because they had
Paul LaRue.
Well, no,
that's my guy.
I don't know why he's listed first.
Because he's Satoshi, my nigga. He's
volume. And I know you believe that. I know you.
Yes,
really
wholeheartedly.
So I guess you've kind of given your answer as to who you think Satoshi is.
Was I supposed to wait towards the end?
So who is Paul LaRue?
Sorry for the spoiler alert.
Tell us who this Paul LaRue is.
Paul LaRue.
Who is this LaRue?
Who is this Paul LaRue? Paul LaRue is the guy that's probably, in my opinion, the main Satoshi character. I believe there are a couple of people. Adam Back may be involved in there, but I
don't see a connection with Adam Back though.
No,
no, I don't even think Paul LaRue is on the Cyberpunk mailing list.
But see, that's what you need to understand. Paul LaRue, bro. Why would he have a name? Well, I guess the Satoshi could have just Satoshi. He could have used that, but I'll have to bring up the article.
I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it. There's a lot of very interesting evidence,
convincing things. Very.
Well,
and he's in jail right now for life. So that yet another reason why that potentially could be him. And he's a criminal, and he's Russian, I think.
Well, he's extremely smart when it comes like a idiot savant when it comes to like programming and stuff like that. Because I believe he's programmed like his own like encryption messaging things. He's been involved in a lot as far as like creation of technology, but he also happens to be like this criminal mastermind too.
Yeah, if memory serves, I think what you guys are referring to is TrueCrypt and VeraCrypt, but TrueCrypt was taken over. It was like very openly taken over by federal agencies in the United States, which means VeraCrypt, the resulting local encryption software tool, which is bloody useful if you're not, if you're not into these things, it's okay. But as crypto and privacy people, look it up. VeraCrypt, it's the ongoing maintained fork of TrueCrypt, and if I'm not mistaken, Paul LaRue was implicated in the TrueCrypt.
Mm-hmm.
The original
there was some kind of, it's almost like a PGP kind of thing.
Correct.
But like a internal PGP, like that he created for use of his related stuff, if I understood it correctly. There was very little mention of him.
So encryption tools and encryption libraries, they make sense. You can use them for various different kinds of things. And here's the thing: if you are kind of handy with code, like this guy Paul was, then why wouldn't you use encryption tools that work to help maintain your business interests? Like, I'm not even mad. Like, if the guy found a tool that worked really well to preserve his business interests and he stood by it, then that's different from being Satoshi and trying to create a worldwide movement towards permissionless peer-to-peer cash. The character alone, to me, just does not follow. It's a non sequitur with Paul LaRue, in my mind. But I appreciate that what Blood is saying. Like, he probably should have been mentioned on the documentary.
Well, that should bring some suspicion, in my opinion, unless you think one says that he has no connection at all, then he would not.
Well, you couldn't interview
I mean,
the guy. You couldn't interview him, which kind of makes
no,
it.
you couldn't interview him. But come on, you guys know this looks like Satoshi Nakamoto on a private plane.
I will.
You know that's Satoshi.
Listen, I will say.
He looks like Ricardo Spagni a little bit, just a little bit.
He looks like a Russian version of who?
Ricardo Spagni.
Ricardo Spagni.
He looks like a Paul Wall.
He looks like a Russian version of. I would give him a Suge Knight. He's the Suge Knight of cryptography, ladies and gentlemen.
Johnny B. Crypto.
Both in jail, by the way. Man,
he said it's BitBoy, is what he said. That's what Johnny B. Crypto said. Love it.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't interview LaRue, and I think that's part of it is the people that couldn't be interviewed. That's why I feel like there was some sensationalism being done to it. I'm not sure. I think it was the guy from the documentary ran into Nick Szabo and tried to ask him if he'd be available, and Nick is pretty much like, no. So he just shot
Nick
that.
Pretty much just he's just kind of an asshole. It's just to everybody. He did the precursor to Bitcoin and tried to make it like it came out after Bitcoin, the BitGold situation. So there was speculation into that. But when you listen to the argument and the things that are implied between Peter Todd, Adam Back, and the interaction of the person doing the interviews in the documentary, one, I think they're both like either in the spectrum, but Adam Back is not good with if you catch him, if you say something that's kind of like what you think is the truth and it is the truth, he's not good at concealing whether or not it is. He looks very fucking guilty when being asked about his relationship with Satoshi. There's also some very speculative, like some stuff as in regards to when he popped up and claiming he didn't know much about Bitcoin, but there's proof of him making posts back in like 2011, 2010, 2011, talking about Bitcoin's not a pyramid scheme, talking about some of the technical aspects of Bitcoin. And also this Peter Todd, who was young at the time, like 15 years old, was kind of like emailing Adam Back very early on. And it's almost like this kid was pretty much the one who created it with a little bit of help from potentially, this is the way they're implying it, from Adam Back. And the guy doing the documentary confronts them both towards the end of because of what the information that the documentary guy figured out. Because there's some really suspicious stuff about when Peter Todd first started posting, how much of a gap there was in between his next post. And his next post was actually finishing a sentence or a thought of Satoshi Nakamoto on the forum.
So you think it's Peter Todd?
That's what the documentary is implying.
Yeah, and that's
what do you think?
That's the gotcha in the third act. That's the gotcha in the third act, but blood is circumstantial, man.
But it's really good evidence.
Watch it and be like,
It's really good evidence, and the thing is, I think personally, he should get
15-year-old.
He should get the Grifty Award next year. Whatever Hotep's doing for his Grifties or something, he should get the Grifter of the Year award, because I feel like he trolled the entire time because he was basically like, I'm Satoshi, I'm not Satoshi, that kind of thing. And saying if he was Satoshi, how he would have gotten rid of any evidence that would have allowed him to even prove that he was Satoshi.
Satoshi is either... Okay, let me back up. Do you guys think Satoshi is one person?
No.
Okay, cool. Me either. I don't think he's one person. So, never mind.
But you think it's Paul LaRue, and you think there's connections potentially to Adam Back. I'd like to explore that aspect, but I kind of in agreement with, because we were talking a little bit in our private chat with Seth, because Seth was like, I'm going to come at this from this point of view. And I'm like, well, your point of view is kind of my point of view. It may be different, but it parallels. So what do you think, Seth? Who is Satoshi Nakamoto?
We got a couple of really solid hints right now. And like you said, following the money at the beginning of this segment that we're doing right now, let's hope that this is something that's of long-term value to people. So I'm gonna play this one straight. By following the money, we did a great thing, revealing that Vanguard and BlackRock have direct financial interests in this documentary, in this sort of whistleblower style documentary that's supposed to reveal to us who Satoshi is. And Peter Todd, whether he's involved or not, he, in the third act, I will give a little bit of a spoiler. He says the quiet part out loud where he belly laughs in the documentary filmmaker's face on camera and says, "Good job. You did exactly what we want you to do." And that is get distracted by who Satoshi is while Bitcoin quietly becomes a regular household name, right? And it achieves mass adoption in some way. But you're still focused on Satoshi, kind of chasing your own tail, not really understanding that we're prepping the good stuff over here. Like, you're like a dog, right? Like chasing.
Yeah, but he also
the good stuff over here.
He was using complete reverse psychology the entire time of doing, like, saying those kind of things, because then he would say things that would imply that he was Satoshi.
No, I think no. And in his case,
he definitely was implying it, and he said several times, "I am Satoshi," and then he followed up one of those times with, "We are Satoshi." So he was trolling. He was definitely trolling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was trolling the documentary filmmaker, but at the same time, you hear from everybody who's a character witness around Peter Todd, and you spend a little bit of time just looking at some of his media, at some of the media that he produces. He's a guy who very clearly has a little bit of a self-esteem issue and pushes every single time he's in a room to look like the smartest guy in the room.
You're quoting Roger Ver.
I don't buy that as Satoshi.
Totally
no, according to a couple of people. Roger would say that, I guess.
He was saying it several times that Peter Todd would make a point to make sure that he was known to be the smartest person in the room.
And by the way, free Jesus.
What are you talking about? A meme coin again?
No, free.
Okay.
Roger Ver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's not just, he's Bitcoin Jesus, man.
He's Jesus.
Our special guest is here. Seth.
No, Lord Jesus.
Did
Hold on.
Did you imply who you think this individual or group or even maybe non-human, who is Satoshi?
Okay. What I did was start with a little bit of foundation. So I apologize to our previously unexpected guests. I'm looking forward to having them on and having them rebut anything that I say. So I'm choosing my words carefully. But what I did do is I said who I think Satoshi isn't, and that's any single person that was brought up. Look, Adam Back, he tried out the hash cash thing. Once he realized he was too late to control Bitcoin, he created Blockstream. He's been standing at the head of that for a long time. They failed it at Lightning. It's very obvious, like you say, when you just follow the money alone, that Adam Back, being so heavily involved in it in such a public way, cannot be Satoshi.
No, I don't.
It'd be crazy to be Satoshi. And I think the same is true with Peter Todd, Gavin, and everybody else. I think Gavin going to the CIA was done in incredibly bad faith.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, whoever Satoshi was, bounced.
That scared him.
Because contact had been made with
that scared him.
directly.
So let me ask you guys this.
Listen, Satoshi had already left at that point, but he was still communicating with Gavin, and Gavin told him about the meeting, and then he stopped communicating with Gavin.
Bingo. So
let me ask you
proof of life.
So, the whole theory that Bitcoin is created by the CIA, how do you feel about that now? Seeing that Satoshi really got scared off when Gavin went to the CIA.
I feel very good about that. About a three-letter agency. It's entirely possible in the same way that we've.
He could have been an three-letter agency member.
Yes.
Well, they're claiming that Peter Todd could have been in a three-letter agency. He actually apparently worked for the Canadian Secret Intelligence.
Right.
So there's some really weird shit when it comes into this. That's why I'm saying there's some. I feel like in order for a documentary like this to be good, compared to some other ones, is mixing in a lot of truth with enough lies.
Yeah. So on that note, one of the ways that you mix in a lot of truth with lies or mixing in enough truth with the lies to help sell, like launder and sell the lie, is that you bring in people who are kind of the usual suspects. And three-letter agencies are very adept at doing this. They use cypherpunks and they use hardened hackers, people who are outright hacktivists, in order to hunt down their own. As soon as they think that they have an angle legally, they will use not lawfare, but the color of law, where they'll just tell you like, hey, Rice, hey, Blood, I know you had that conversation with so-and-so. It's implicating the Diddy effect right now, right? Like we're seeing McCarthyism 7.0, whatever version we're on of it now. McCarthyism 7.0, like, look, you're an associate, so you must hold the same views. And with cypherpunks, this is much more real because they're like, oh, shit, I may have downloaded that one documentary I wasn't supposed to. Or I may have, like, it's a documents, not documentary. I may have downloaded that one document I was not supposed to. I would have accessed that one database I wasn't supposed to. And if there was a log of that, and they're coming to me now with proof of that, these glowy boys, what am I going to do? I'm between a rock and a hard place. And so the feds have done this to hackers and hacktivists, dude, since the dawn of the internet. Anybody who's tried to bring
John Kuliza, I'm sorry,
I
can't believe he just asked, "What about Craig Wright?"
Well, again, just like what Seth said, if you don't mention him, it's an avoidance. So by not mentioning Craig Wright, they're saying that Craig Wright is Satoshi.
Not at all.
Well,
not at all.
His legal troubles, I think, are
the legal
don't need to be
troubles
televised anymore.
Exposed. Yeah, that exposed everything. I already knew it wasn't, but
I'm going to bring on our guest. This is someone I think we all know. This is Mr. Colin Pape from Presearch. He has a theory of his own. He's been talking about this with me personally for quite some time. And I wanted to kind of get his thoughts on it because it varies a little bit from our thoughts. So, Colin, you need to unmute yourself if you don't mind. And
Presearch in the house.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. He is now the ex-CEO of, he's the founder of Presearch, ex-CEO. I don't know if it was actually ever a CEO, but your volume is a little low.
Volume's real low for some reason.
Very low, yeah, remarkably low.
I'm not sure what you're using for sound. If I need to turn you up, I will.
Colin, if you go into the sound settings, just the gear icon, go to audio, and then have it automatically manage your gain. It should bring your levels up.
Okay. Garth Brooks is getting Me Too'd. Oh Lord, I mean, come on, man. Come on, the country.
Does that work?
The country singer. They're going after the country singers now.
Let me turn you up here on my own.
Okay.
Can you talk for a second, Colin?
Hey, Rice. How's it going?
I think that's a little bit better. Yeah, he does. I mean, for a while, he was on StreamYard every Friday with me. So
that's right. That's every other Friday.
I think these kind of things are distractions, personally. Like all this other shit that's coming out. Even this documentary, I think, is kind of a distraction. But Colin, what is your thoughts on? You've been involved in the crypto space, as far as I know, at least like 2016, 2017. You've been following the space. You're a freedom lover. You're a big fan of decentralization. That's partially why you founded a decentralized search engine that rewards people. We're talking about Presearch. But yeah, who do you think is Satoshi Nakamoto?
I've got a bit of an unpopular opinion, or at least it's unpopular whenever I go into Reddit or X or wherever. And to me, it just seems like after I realized it, I kind of can't unsee it, honestly. And it seems to me like very obvious. But I believe it's Elon, honestly.
No, come on, Colin.
Yeah.
Now, have you, just out of curiosity, Blood, have you ever taken the time to listen to anybody who's putting together like videos trying to explain that they feel like, because there is an argument for it. I'm not saying it's correct, but there is an argument for it. Anything for clicks thinks that Colin is Satoshi. And I will say that Colin is born and raised in Canadistan. And and I know that he speaks he types in British. So what we've seen from Satoshi, that could have been Colin.
There's some so before I and again, honestly, Rice, invited me on. I don't want to crash your stream, honestly. So
no, you can't do that, bro. We're good.
All right.
It's impossible. We're all
entertainment. This is
you can't crash anything here.
So
we're already crashed.
Okay. So before I say anything about Elon, Blood, why I saw the visceral reaction.
Well, I'm just animated, so don't pay that no mind.
But do you have? I mean, you may have good reasons that I'm not aware of why he couldn't be, but.
I know. I mean, like if you look at X and what he wanted to do with PayPal, and what the PayPal mafia wanted to do, he is a C++ programmer. There's a lot of parallelism. I can see where
It's Elon right here.
Have you ever?
Tell Colin that you're out with Trump right now. Oh, okay. You're not Satoshi. You're not okay. You're not Satoshi. Round of applause. He's not Satoshi, Colin. He just
you didn't bother to ask if any of us is going to Mars. Blood, dude? You had the guy on the phone just now. How dare you, sir?
That's not cool.
You'd be surprised who Mr. CryptoBlood knows.
I'm actually not anymore, dude. Seriously, this guy like drops. Yeah, I'm just like the adrenaline has been like this, and now I'm like.
I will say the best arguments that I've seen for this, and it's not that I like the individual, but I like the channel and I like the former researchers of the channel, and that is Chico Crypto. Put out some pretty good videos. He also put out pretty good videos saying how it could be Sergey Nazarov from Chainlink.
Yes, heard that
which
theory.
He didn't get mentioned at all.
You got to pay attention to who isn't mentioned. That's what I'm saying, Seth.
Vitalik's dad, Dmitry, who introduced Vitalik to Bitcoin, who was also a computer programmer who went to school in Russia in Moscow for computer programming, introduced his son.
Dima's wicked smart. He's wicked smart.
Dima could easily play that role.
There's a few people,
especially if you think about the Russian clique, like Sergey Nazarov connected with Dmitry.
Maybe.
And forgive me, Paul Leroux is not Russian. He is
he's not French either.
He's from Zimbabwe, but might be via Russia. I don't know. I don't know where.
He's a white Zimbabwean.
I'm gonna say kind of counts against him to know that there's no Russian connection for Paul. I'm just saying now. Not with all these other, I don't know
what Paul's ethnicity is.
Yeah, anything for clicks is saying, "Hey, why Elon?" Never fully explained. I'd love to hear.
So let's hear it. I'm sorry, I've been cutting you off, Colin. Yeah, sorry.
No. Again, I'm crashing the stream. I mean, and it's interesting. Somebody that Rice interviewed, and I've become familiar with through Rice interviewing him, Amir Taki. He actually just posted something within the past few hours.
He was in a documentary heavily.
He was,
and just he's not saying it was Elon, but he's saying, hey, here's the code. And ultimately, like there's a lot of speculation, and we can all speculate, but the truest telltale is the code. And I believe personally, like the only two things we really have are the code and the Satoshi emails, and there's some really interesting information in the Satoshi emails, and especially for me, in the latest series that was released earlier in 2024, Marty Malmi, the Finnish developer who was working with Elon and talking about porting it over to Linux, and so there's some, like, if we're talking about it being a cypherpunk, one of the things that is just super incongruent to me is that the original version of Bitcoin ran on Windows. Right, it didn't run on Linux. It didn't run on any kind of traditionally cypherpunk platform.
I think it was the pizza guy that.
Beyond that, Colin, it's not even so. Windows is not beyond being not cypherpunk. It's just not even a typical development environment. I would just say
that's right.
Very rare to have really good industrial
I've been saying
development.
Solana is Windows 95 and Bitcoin is actually it. Mind blown.
So there's that. It was written in C++. Elon was not an expert C++ coder, but he is a C++ coder. Neuralink, Starlink, Tesla, they are all written in C++. There's a tweet that Elon has, and somebody says, "What's your favorite programming language?" He says,
Colin, two of those are acquisitions. They're not.
Those are all acquisitions.
Yeah. Sure. And I get some of the the angst around that. But like,
it's not angst. I'm bringing you facts. He's never touched the code base of any of those products, and he acquired them. Both.
But so he has the ability though to influence, like certainly the operating system that Tesla runs on is not what it originally ran on, right? And he got in early enough. He would certainly have the ability to request that the Tesla operating system work on C++. Starlink SpaceX he did found and would have the ability to influence that. And there's this book called The Founders that came out in 2022 that talks about the PayPal mafia and the founding of X and Confinity and how they merged to become PayPal. And one of the big battles that happened in that merger was Elon really trying to insist that the new merged company run on C++ and Windows. And Peter Thiel and others were arguing for other platforms. And so again, not saying, he's an expert coder, but this tweet, somebody says, hey, what's your favorite programming language? He says, I like C because it avoids class warfare. And then somebody says, actually C, although the syntax could be improved aesthetically. So the post from Amir Taki today talks about the source code for Bitcoin and how it was originally structured, and that it utilizes something known as Hungarian notation. And a lot of people just automatically assume, oh, it was Hungarian. No, it's got nothing to do with Hungarian. It's because Hungarian with names, the last name comes first, and then the first name comes second. And so it's a way of just structuring your code. Like, I don't know if you guys are devs and if you've written code, but when you're trying to write a program, you're trying to simultaneously document it, make it understandable so that things kind of throughout make sense, and you can trace errors, and somebody who might just start looking at the code is going to be able to intuitively kind of know, hey, this variable represents that, right? And so Elon makes a specific comment about it could be improved aesthetically, and the thing that Amir is highlighting is that it uses Hungarian notation, which is actually kind of rare and odd, and it's more of an older school type thing. And I'm a developer, but I'm also a bit of an older school developer. Some of the newest languages, TypeScript and whatnot, not really something I've been super familiar with. But how
you're not missing much. You just think of JavaScript, but much more declarative. That's really it's a one-trick pony, man. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting about Amir too is, I think of all the people in a documentary, he would have more of the technical background that's not a candidate of being Satoshi. Because when I interviewed him, he had talked about the fact that he had taken the code and rewrote it to clean everything up because of how it was. So for him to kind of dissect it in this manner and talk about the Hungarian notation, the fact that it indicates it's an older person, talking about targeting spaghetti code, all kinds of interesting things. This is a really good post. I think I reposted it, actually. Yeah, I did. So I encourage people to check it out. And he did say, to be fair to Peter Todd, he handled it well and didn't try to claim undue credit, even though it kind of, I think, just leaves this question mark.
No, he did. He didn't. Here's the thing. No, to his own community, to a panel of his peers, Rice, nobody believes that in his peer group, nobody believes that Peter Todd was actually saying that he was Satoshi in a documentary at all. They knew he was trolling, and he was trolling in a way that, with his own in-group, would be considered acceptable, okay. They'd be like, yeah, you got it. You got everyone laughing at the end of the day because they're still chasing their tail, trying to figure out who Satoshi is. But they're talking about our product. Go on. Keep them talking about it.
That's kind of what he said. That's kind of what Peter Todd said in the documentary. It was just implying that by you implying that I'm Satoshi and me saying I'm Satoshi is like just basically you've missed the whole point of all of this. But again, it's just interesting. It's very interesting the way that Body
like
language of him and Adam Back is strange.
Oh yeah,
And Adam
but
Back is strange to begin with, but
the two of them should stay away from Las Vegas like for life. They will lose all their money. Like that's also a fact, man. They don't have a very good poker face.
Poker face, yeah. Prospector said, Colin being a developer is closer to being Satoshi than Elon. Round of applause.
well, like I told you, he's Canadian and he's a developer. He told you he's a developer. I guess really what the reason I wanted to bring Colin Pape on is just so that we can identify Colin Pape as Satoshi Nakamoto and just get it over with.
There we
go.
That was
it.
Beautiful.
Now that we've had more than 11 seconds of his voice sampled as well, I've already cloned it in 11 labs. Thank you so much. Your job here is done, Colin. We never need you again. Just saying.
Thanks so much, guys.
You will forever be Satoshi.
Love it.
Yeah, man.
I mean, you definitely got to watch the end of it, Blood. The rest of it, it's ultimately, I think history wise, I don't think that they're really I think they cover it really well. I think the interviews with Roger were probably older, and I wish that they would have gotten updated interviews with him. Maybe where he could have mentioned his book, or maybe even had his book in the background or something.
What's going on with Jesus?
I mean, he's out. He's out on bond. He's still in Spain. He's not technically allowed to leave Spain, and he's chosen not to do any interviews.
But his Telegram is active.
Yeah, you can talk to him, but he's not going to do he's told me he's not doing any public interviews on him. Let me see if what he said, if it was anything more than just that. No, he just said my life is on hold until the US decides to leave me alone. ...
Jeez. Okay, so never. Yeah, got it. So till the apocalypse, Roger Ver is incommunicado. Noted.
He's in purgatory. Round of applause. Jesus in purgatory. What about that? How about that?
I've interviewed a lot of people that were in that documentary. I'm still supposed to interview Rose, Rachel Rose O'Leary, who is.
I was waiting for you to pop up in the doc because since you interviewed Amir Taki, but they didn't.
I guess it was probably after the fact.
Well, no, beyond that, here's the thing. You're like, so from one content producer to another, one content creator to another, like this guy making this documentary, he had no interest in bringing in other creative voices, right? Like he's building a brand for himself as the guy who's putting this together. And then also the company that did it, like you said, their previous work was expose style media. Yeah. So that's kind of
talking about that
intriguing.
Yeah.
Colin, I was telling them a little bit before the live stream, I had done a really quick search to find out about ownership of Warner, Warner Brothers Discovery, which is how you would invest in something like HBO and Max, because it's under the parent company of Warner Brothers Discovery. And it talks about Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. And if you look at and I'm just adding this information, I'm not saying that there's any conspiracy to it, but they own over around 21%, 22% of the stock between the three companies, Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. So that's kind of interesting.
It's wild.
Another thing I thought was interesting that I thought that Seth would enjoy is from Bitcoin.com. They put out an article talking about 8 AI chatbots. And so basically scrolling down, they use OpenAI chatbot 4, Venice.ai, Mistral AI, Google Gemini,
let's be very clear. Venice.ai is just Nous Research's Hermes model, which is open source and just an unfucked version of Llama.
Okay. Infection, Microsoft's Pilot Creative, OpenAI Chatbox 40. I don't know. So basically, I think it was 6 out of the 8 implied it was Hal Finney, with 2 of them saying Nick Szabo, and that was it.
The problem with Hal Finney being it is that the infamous race.
Yeah.
He's doing the race and Satoshi is chatting. So
and that race has become infamous in the crypto space because I believe that his wife still does, there's still a race that takes place every year. In regards to that same race.
I think he probably had a significant influence on it.
They shot it out very quickly that he wasn't. Basically, saying, looking at his code and his previous work, there was no way that he was Satoshi.
But again, that's saying that Satoshi is one person, and we all at the beginning of this live stream said we don't think it's one person.
No,
absolutely. Well, consider also like, and with that in mind, as a foundation, the assumption that it's bare minimum a special team of operators who are just interested in this outcome, and that maybe it's all the way into the realm of nation state actors like three-letter agencies here that are making that special subtask, that task force, right, to become Satoshi or whatever. That if that's the case, and you become the mouthpiece for Satoshi, like we'll just presume whoever was writing those emails was wink, wink. Then, or your job is to be submitting the code, right? You're the one who's actually pushing commit.
We need to be asking more so. I think the question is everyone wants to know who's the CTO of Satoshi Nakamoto LLC. Round of applause. It's a whole group of people, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah.
So you want to know who the CTO is? Maybe the CEO.
It's
who's
important.
The CEO of Satoshi Nakamoto LLC? Right.
It's still important to mention.
The thing is, the only reason you'd want to know the name and identity of the CTO is so you could fucking fire them because they were horrible at their job for the first 5 years. It was really, really bad code. Here's the thing: if we're a task force, let me take that idea to the next level. If we're a task force. Whoever you assign as a CTO, you did this. You said, "Hey, you're right-handed. Fuck you. Hold it with your left hand. Here's a crayon, by the way. Stop using pen." So that's exactly the kinds of choices that you saw here. Colin's nodding his head because he knows I'm right. It'd be like saying, "Hey, I know that you know way better, higher performance libraries and scripting languages, but use the shittiest tools in the shittiest way to barely make it do what we say it's supposed to do, so that nobody can tell whether or not you have some kind of a coding pedigree or what they can't really like determine some sort of like programmer fingerprint from your previous work." Like, he juked everybody making this code base.
Would you say that intelligence agencies from various countries work together?
Well, they absolutely do.
Okay. Would you think that there's any connection between the NSA and the Canadian Secret Intelligence?
If there's any connection,
no.
CSIS is pretty useless as a Canadian.
I'm just saying, you don't think that they're connected with like the NSA, CIA, FBI.
So Rice, I don't think that this idea of Bitcoin, it may have come out of people working for these agencies. The technology, we know that SHA was created by NSA, or CIA.
Yeah, I don't think it was directly government that created it. I'm on like what you're saying. People that have been involved in the government.
Maybe. But
hold up. Blood. I'm gonna let you finish that thought. But first off, I took a Lamborghini that somebody else rented. Thank you very much. I have no idea whose money took it. We spent doing this particular promo. But I illegally street raced somebody else's rented Lamborghini on the streets of Las Vegas. Who fucking paid for those roads? Obviously, local taxpayers did. I broke all kinds of laws. I broke like 15 laws, easily a lot more than that. Like I probably committed like 3 felonies too, like just breaking the speed limit. But I illegally street raced and drifted somebody else's car there. Is it the taxpayers' fault that they funded those roads? Is it the taxpayers' fault that they funded those stoplights that I very, very likely just like I didn't destroy them, but I blew right past them.
I want to add something real quick as I'm reading something so that and I can't see Blood's face, so I might have to watch the replay. This particular individual was born in Washington Heights area of New York City. His father was Romanian Jewish descent, and his mother was Hungarian Jewish descent. He grew up with his mother in the household of his maternal grandparents who were born in Russia. His father worked as a stockbroker and consultant in New York City. He went to school with a gentleman by the name of John Kinemy. If you're not familiar with John Kinemy, he is a Hungarian-born American mathematician, computer scientist, and educator, best known for co-developing the basic programming language in 1964 with Thomas E. Kurtz. Are you familiar with this guy, John Kinemy? And in addition, the mysterious guy that I'm talking about was, and I'm trying to find the information where it says it, was friends with Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged.
It's big.
The gentleman that I'm talking about is Alan Greenspan, since Blood wants
Oh my God!
Since Blood wants to shoot
Big Swear!
It's an interesting theory, dude.
No, it's not.
No, it really is.
Alan
And you
Greenspan
said
did not.
You said he has no computer experience, and he went
But
to
that
school.
means-
One of his best friends is John Kennedy, who wrote the fucking basic computing language.
Yeah, explain that, Blood. Explain it right now.
Man, you
Jeez.
guys are using
And again,
correlation, causation fallacies all over the fucking place.
There is a connection.
No,
with him
there
and
is
Ayn
not.
Rand.
Seth,
Him
you
and
know
Ayn
I'm
Rand.
right.
Okay? So, who is John Galt?
God.
Huh?
This is fun, though.
Alan Greenspan is John Galt.
Oh my God, Bix. I love you, Bix. I love you, Bix.
But I did want to bring that point up just to show you, like, I'm sure that Amir Taki didn't think it's Alan Greenspan, but what do you say about an older guy not having programming experience and the Hungarian shit?
Jeez.
Okay,
Man,
so
we
we
live in a
can
simulation.
tie anybody into anything that
This
we
is
want.
crazy.
That's why we are all Satoshi, and I personally don't think, regardless
we
of
ain't
who
all
is involved,
Satoshi,
we
'cause
are
I
never.
don't have Satoshi wealth, so
We're never
I don't
gonna
know
know
if you
who
have.
Satoshi is.
You are Satoshi. I'm not Satoshi.
Do you believe we'll find out who Satoshi is? We'll go around the table. Blood,
Okay.
Seth, Colin.
We will never be able to verify if that said information is true or not. It'll always be a mystery, is what I'm saying. The name it might have floated around, but we'll never know, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Blood in strongest terms here. I think that some of the other hypotheses they're very entertaining, and I really appreciate Colin that you brought up Elon, and you brought some reasons for it too. I think that in the end, though, I think that for the good of the ecosystem, it's better that we don't know, and that is why at this point the establishment and the cypherpunks agree on something, and that is that they're going to keep this secret to the ends of recorded history.
Wait, so you think the establishment wants it to be secret as well?
Yeah. Yeah. There's no upside in revealing the identity of Satoshi now. What could that potentially do to the market cap of a newly minted ETF? We're only enjoying the benefits, air quotes, of an ETF recently, right? People have been trying for years. We're only barely getting family offices and smaller investment firms and wealth advisors
I get
start
your
recommending
angle now.
Bitcoin now, right? The establishment.
So you're
has
basically
no
saying
interest.
that Bitcoin has been co-opted, right?
Yes.
That's what you're saying, and that now they want to protect the identity. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. Now here's the thing.
Understood.
It's still, but that's
And agree.
complicated. It's a complicated thing in that BlackRock and Grayscale, we've seen it even still recently in this institutional rally, right? Where there's no retail money moving the markets right now, right? On the charts. Blood, you please set me straight, because you're the guy
Look at
that
the
lives
view
right.
count. Look at the view count of channels. You can see it by looking at the action of what's happening on the crypto type YouTube channels. Views are down.
Yeah,
it's
it's
because the
horrible.
retail market has not been here for the entirety of what we're calling this run.
Yeah.
Right. The one notable exception, technical analysis channels. Why? Because they think that you will give them the alpha edge to get them ahead of the institutions who are obviously controlling this shit. They're running shit behind the scenes, very obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Those massive. Look, I speculated on one ticker symbol, Moon River, right, in the Polkadot ecosystem. They had $40 million candles. There's nobody in retail doing that other than the whales inside of Polkadot.
Right.
You don't have people throwing $40 million candles at an asset class like this unless they're internal massive whales. And on Bitcoin, $40 million candles, 50 million, whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we have some whales. A lot of them are not sitting there babysitting that chart. They've handed it off as liquidity providers to a different fund to manage that for them. It's looking an awful lot like consolidation into larger funds. And we're in a game of whales, just hoping not to get crushed by these waves, right? In the markets. So that's why I say, Blood. That's my full thesis. That's why I say it is in the institution's best interest right now, not to drop it to zero, but to definitely keep it suppressed. They're shaking people out in ways that they never thought they could be shaken out. We're seeing things on charts that we thought were impossible.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. You're right. No, you're right.
Colin, what do you think about?
Yeah.
Are we going to find out who Satoshi is?
I don't know. Hard to say. If it were Elon, I think it could potentially be proven. That's the only person that, I don't know, out of my list of candidates, I think it could be proven. There's enough evidence that if dots were connected, it and could it be forced out potentially? I don't know if I think Elon doesn't need the Satoshi wallet, so he could elect to not ever move that wallet or burn it or something anonymously at some point for the greater good, quote unquote. But yeah, I have no idea honestly how that's gonna play out.
Me personally, I think that, kind of thinking like where there could be a little bit of a BlackRock type connection. And I think that there's probably a lot of investors who are apprehensive with Bitcoin, even with the ETFs, seeing how they perform, just because you have this mysterious unknown creator. So by putting a face on it, that's kind of like slightly innocent. That's not like an Elon Musk type or Alan Greenspan, and somebody who's claiming that if he was, there's no way he could prove it because he's gotten rid of everything. There's evidence, the Peter Todd, him talking about, like in, I think 2014, 2015, about him being an expert on sacrificing or burning Bitcoin, which could be an admission that if he was Satoshi, that he can't do anything with the 1 million coins. So I kind of think it's trying to put more of a face on it and take away more of the mystery to help make your regular investor be comfortable. You got this like really intelligent, cocky spectrum dude who could be Satoshi, but he can't do anything to the coins. He can't affect it, and kind of leave it at that. Because that's basically what they've implied, is this guy is Satoshi, but there's not much that he can do about it. He can't prove it. He's gotten rid of any evidence. But they do imply at the very end that if he was, did he really get rid of everything? Just in case. So, but I don't think we'll ever really truly know. And I think that, like, they've even mentioned several times, I think they mentioned in a documentary, but several people have said this. Unless Satoshi was able to protect itself with probably one of the best fucking tactical bodyguard teams you could possibly get, I can't see the group or individual coming out and admitting that they're Satoshi, because they will quickly get arrested, taken out, or something.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, if Trump can't protect himself as a $1 billion man, I don't think there's any hope for a $1 trillion man. Round of applause. No hope, buddy. He would have been out.
There's nowhere on earth that targeted hurricane can't hit you. Clearly, Tampa is proving that right now.
Oh,
except the boring company's underground tunnels.
Oh yeah, I guess. Well, and the NSA's little data center in the side of a mountain, but I don't know anything about that.
I think next week, Seth, we got to talk about these hurricanes, man. This is Rice. This is crazy.
And if you guys are open to having the cat on, he can bring some.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bring some seasoned salt.
We're open to guests, even if we do it by a surprise.
Yeah.
Thanks again, guys.
Thanks, Colin.
How can I say no when I'm like throwing people at you guys? Like, hey, somebody's gonna be joining us.
That's what we should start doing. We should just start like every week, just one-upping each other with some secret guests that we slide in. And it would just keep going up and up and up until we get to Satoshi Nakamoto, a.k.a. Elon Musk.
I think they're going to install a glass ceiling at Gensler. And I'm just going to predict that it's blood that brings him. Blood's the guy that can make that happen. So I just give up now. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the Bitcoin Amsterdam conference might have started today. 9th through 10th.
I don't know, but
I thought that's interesting timing because it's today. It's happening right now in Amsterdam. So
we've caused Bitcoin to begin to crash, ladies and gentlemen. So
I'm sure we caused that.
I'm sure we caused
it.
Good. Well, hey, Blood, it's October. Everybody knows this. Everyone knows Bitcoin is
Colin. So are we going to end the month before we let you go? Or are we going to end the month of October up or down?
If I had to guess, I would say possibly up and then down in November. I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty around the election, and I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Okay.
See what happens.
All right. So
Yeah,
far,
people
it's
in
a note. It's a nope timber so far.
I personally think it won't be till
timber.
the end of the month. It won't be till the end of the month we start seeing a pump going into the elections.
I'm out of here at the end of the month. You guys have been warned. I told you numerous times.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, no blood. Let me ask this also.
Hey, what do you mean you're out of here? You're selling your crypto? You're leaving Earth? You're going underground? What's happening?
Well, since I know Elon and he just called me, I have options. I can go up to, or I can go down. The boring. I can go in the ground somewhere. I can go either way.
Well,
I don't know. Right? We can talk offline.
You need to look out.
What are you gonna say, Seth?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. As far as bug out locations that are crypto friendly, we need to make that short list. We need to start shortening the list for people. Sharing is caring, and I think that's going to be something that really matters to some people really soon.
Yeah.
Agreed. I know somebody. I think I know somebody who wants to escape Canadistan. Colin, you got. I appreciate you taking the time to join us, man. We're going to be doing the pre-search live stream this Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. You got any final thoughts you want to add?
No, just love the conversation, and yeah, you guys are great, and appreciate you allowing me on here.
Coming on, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. Seth, mind your biz. Any final thoughts from you, my friend, for this episode that we did today, the Three Wise Man Wednesday, where we shared our old man wisdom?
Yes, sharing the old man wisdom. It's like old man strength. You can't speed run it, guys. You can't speed run it. It just happens over time. Life just gives it to you. So the thing that I want to share is that I have reopened my. Ooh, Rice, go and give it to you.
Why, Rice? Why?
I thought you were street smart. That's
I
why.
feel violated. I'm trying not to, but those are my feelings. So. But no, I did reopen my my email newsletter and some of the exclusive lessons that are geared towards operational security, and just general security and privacy, just better practices, because most people need baby steps. So that's been important to me. I think right now a lot of people are questioning, what do I do with my crypto? If I have made any gains, how do I make sure that they're not easily confiscatable or easily stolen? And so I'm trying to just really focus in on that. Privacy is still there as a privacy advocate, but those are my some of my final words. Look, Peter Todd even mentioned it, and Hal Finney said it within 2 weeks of ever seeing the Bitcoin code base that it needed more privacy. Here they are, years and years and years and years later, with Bitcoin not only not having more privacy added at the protocol level, but the U.S. government coming out in open hostility towards any groups that have added privacy to Bitcoin. Look, they showed us who they are. They mean to strip away privacy in crypto. They mean to strip away sovereignty in wealth. They mean to strip away fundamental rights that we view as just basic to being a human, sentient, living being, like speaking and defending yourself. They're trying to take everything away. We're only getting back to the clawback.
Bitcoin, apparently.
What's that?
Joseph Smith, the time traveler.
But here's the thing. I believe in Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin today. I don't know what anything for clicks is talking about, but I believe in Bitcoin today. So
okay, I'm gonna reveal something.
Do we have another special guest?
I'm trying to do this correctly. Just bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, I'll land the plane there though. You ask me any final thoughts?
Yes.
Should I open my email list because I don't trust social media, and I think we are. It can. There's a scenario where things get a lot worse before they get better. Not to be alarmist or a doomer, but there is a scenario where things get a lot worse before they get better. And that a lot worse looks an awful lot like authoritarians trying to take your shit. So learn how to protect your shit. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's ironic when you have a you will own nothing and be happy kind of scenarios being thrown out there too. So,
yeah.
Blood, before I reveal who Satoshi Nakamoto truly is, do you have any final thoughts?
Like Lunar Beach has said, we're all Peter Todd, so we're all Peters. Rice. I'm a Peter Piper, Peter Piper.
Peter Piper, Pepper.
Pecker. Yeah, that.
A
Yeah,
pecker,
we're all
you peck-
Peter
you
Todds,
peck-
ladies
you
and
peck- you
gentlemen.
peck the pepper.
No, I'm just shifting around a little bit, content creation, doing a little bit more non-crypto content, and that will actually lead into some things that Rice and I are going to be doing soon. I mean, kind of started with.
I was kind of feeling that anyways. Yeah, I was kind of feeling
Three
that
Wise
anyways.
Men is kind of not just specifically crypto targeted, but yeah, just trying some new stuff out, man. That's it. So you'll see new content from me.
I've been noticing you're working very hard.
The AI has been working hard.
Oh, you're putting it to use in a great way. So do you have an AI version of yourself that's actually doing a reaction to those videos? Because I would think that would actually have to mean that you're doing the work. Okay, so we talked about time travelers, right? Okay, so the truth is, and the reason why the individual won't come on my show or contact me is because that is Satoshi Nakamoto.
Hey.
That's
Why
Satoshi.
the hat, dude? Why the hat?
That
and the
guy
shirt
looks
in both
so
places?
And not only that,
strange,
but
bro.
the shirt that he always wears was a George magazine cover shirt, and George magazine was JFK Jr.'s magazine, and supposedly it was called George because George Bush was involved with the assassination of JFK.
Oh God! Now we're
Dude.
going somewhere. We
Look, I
don't
like.
have
I
enough
like.
time, Rice.
Look, my
Well,
penis
no,
can
I
only
mean,
get so erect.
what was-
all right?
what was George
Like,
Bush's
stop telling me
position
about
at
how
that
this
time?
guy is that much of a conspiracy theorist. Like, this is great. He's part of the tribe for sure, obviously. But why was he in both locations wearing the same clothing?
I'm
Did you
just
ever
trying
get-
to understand that. I
Because
really
I'm telling
need
you,
you to
it's
get in
because
contact with your friend because
Time
now I'm
traveler
starting to get a
Satoshi.
little upset.
It makes sense that this would be coming from the future, and it would be this individual, John Titor, right?
John Titor.
Titor, aka
Peter, yeah.
John F. Kennedy Jr., aka Vincent Fusca, aka Satoshi Nakamoto, one individual from the
There you
future.
go. There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I
Gotta love
appreciate
it.
everybody for taking the time to tune in and join us. Colin, thanks for joining, man. We appreciate.
Thank
So
you.
basically what you heard is we'll be back next Wednesday to do this Three Wise Men thing again. We apologize for the break, but we will be coming back at you. If you haven't already, take an opportunity to smash that like button. The three of us are all streaming on our YouTube channels, our X accounts. I'm streaming on my Rumble. We have links down below for each other's socials and each other's video description. Make sure you're following us. Smash that like button. If you're watching on X, those reposts are greatly appreciated. Going to ride us out with some artificial intelligence music created by none other than artificial intelligence man himself, the artificial Seth.
Hey, thanks. I'm gonna give my artificial goodbye now. It was nice knowing y'all artificially.
Yeah, it's CryptoBlood.
Much love.
Detroit flow, screaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point. OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, it's just blood too. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's my CryptoBlood, twist the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Yo, it's NYBZ on the mic coming through the mist, talking crypto and privacy things you can't dismiss. YouTube's wild jungle, I'm the lion, can't resist. Guiding through the blockchain, teaching about the risk. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, mighty biz, we on the privacy blitz. Step in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no links. Click clack, I hack the facts, that's how I attack. From Bitcoin to Monero, stacking privacy back. YouTube's got eyes, but I'm the cloak in disguise. NYB on the rise, educating the wise. Mind your biz, don't miss. Eeny, mighty biz, we on the privacy blitz. Step in the mix, dropping knowledge with no tricks. YouTube to the wallet, keep it tight, no links.
RiceTVx, the Mike's Live Wire, American Pitbull, real gold buyer, sound money advocate, vice defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold.
Twitter, what's your phone?
Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal.